Hello, and welcome to Songs for the Struggling Artist, the blogcast. This is episode 371. My name is Emily Rainbow Davis. Today's blog is about productivity. Yes, I teased it before I wrote it even. I teased it. I knew it was coming down the pike. I knew I would not be able to resist talking about my issues of productivity that particularly came up during that residency. And of course, here it shall be. So, if you haven't been here before, I'm going to say a few words here, and then I'm going to read you the blog, and then I'm going to sing you a song. And that is how this goes. I don't think you need much in the way of introduction on this one. I think if you wanted to get fully up to speed about this residency, there are multiple previous blogs about it, but I don't think there's anything that's dependent on those other ideas. So you can go back just to, get the full picture, but I don't think you need to in a progression. You know what I mean? Anyway, here it is. It is called Productivity and the Arts. While I am a big fan of having an artistic practice, the kind where you just do your art, whether you're in the mood or not, I'm also a big believer in the power of staring out a window. I think a full artist's life is a combination of the two. Periods of dedicated work or practice and periods of staring out the window. I fear, in our metaphorically speaking, productivity-obsessed world, that the staring out the window piece will be, or has been, lost. One of the reasons to go to an artist residency in a beautiful place is that it gives you new windows and new stuff to stare at through them. New ideas may come with new perspectives like that. I imagined when I went to Crete that if I did nothing else, staring at previously unseen landscapes would be of great benefit to my work. I noticed, though, that the organizers did not share my interest in quiet reflection. At one point, one said to the group of artists, "You're here to work," which struck me as a bit more factory owner than artist supporter. And many of my fellow resident artists took this work mandate seriously. They stayed late in the studio or went in early. They labored long and with fervor. They were determined to be productive. They came there to make art, after all. In many cases, the fervor was their own, because they were released from the constraints of their regular lives and felt free to work all they wanted. But in some instances, some artists went to work out of guilt, out of a sense of, I should be making something right now. Many times I found myself saying to another artist, maybe staring at the sea is as much a part of your process as painting, or playing music, or dancing, or whatever. We've taken on this sense that productivity is the end-all be-all for everything, and I think it is a terrible trend for everyone, but an even worse trend for artists. Should our work be measured by the same metric as a factory? I would prefer not, thank you very much. This overemphasis on productivity, that is, how much we produce, goes hand in hand with the lionization of hard work. I think, as a culture, we've always praised those who work hard. We like the hardest working man in show business, for example, or praise people with the phrase, "No one works harder." We want our heroes worn to the bone, working harder than anyone else, not sleeping and single-mindedly laboring for their art. But I have become suspicious of these kinds of values. With everyone working so hard all the time, where does that leave the window staring? Art does take labor. It is work, no doubt. But does it need a taskmaster leaning over it, making sure it gets done? I don't think so. And in my case, I know my work begins to suffer as soon as someone starts to lean over it, even if that person is my own internal taskmaster. Art is made by artists who are human beings. And one of the beautiful things about human beings is our ability to reflect on our existence. I like art that has some space in it, that has some sense of the person making it having had some time to stare out the window. Frantic art makes me feel frantic. Art that is concerned with productivity doesn't interest me too much. This is not about the speed of making. Artists who work fast can be just as capable of staring out the window as artists who work slow, so to speak. And some artists have no interest in staring out the window, and that's okay too. I just feel like every artist should be able to stare out the window when they want to stare out the window and not be made to feel guilty for it. Some folks may turn up to work around the clock, and some may need some time in front of the scenery. We should be careful not to overemphasize the work and productivity at the risk of losing the space and contemplation of some necessary idleness. That's where the ideas sneak in. So I don't know if you can see the picture for this one. Some podcast apps will show you an episode's artwork and others will not. I feel like they mostly don't. The ones I've used don't. So if you can't see the episode artwork, you can visit the blog and see this picture that I took from this cafe called the Panorama Cafe in Crete. And an aptly named place it was. I mean, what a view. What a view. And I took a picture from a window, which I thought was appropriate for this situation. So what song do I have for you? Well, there was a lot of drama around finding this one because the first song I thought of was Come to My Window by Melissa Etheridge. And I tried to play it and sing it, and it sounded like crap. So I was like, oh, that's too bad. I really like that song, but I don't feel like I can do it the justice. I can't feel, you know what I'm saying. So I abandoned it for a couple of weeks. And then I looked at like all these other window songs. None of them seemed good. And then finally I just keep getting desperate, like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And I went back to Come to My Window and I realized like, oh, it's just a matter of like, there are a few notes that my voice is not built to do what Melissa Etheridge does. She goes into a belt in a place that I go into my lighter head voice. And I did not like it the first time around, but when I came back to it, I was like, actually, it's fine. It's fine. And, I can belt in some other places. And the other thing I realized is that I just needed to stand up. I have to sing sitting down a lot of the time just because I'm looking at chords on a screen, and my screen is in a sit-down position. I mean, a standing desk would be great, but that is not what I have. So I'm sitting to like be able to play the song, and often it's just easier to record sitting down as well, because if I'm sitting, then the mic can kind of split the difference between my guitar or ukulele and my voice. Whereas if I'm standing, it starts to become a little bit more complicated because my mouth is further away from the instrument. Anyway, all that to say is it's Come to My Window, which I enjoyed very much, and I hope that you will too. Also, side note, a friend of mine is stage managing the Broadway production of Come to My Window by Melissa Etheridge. I don't know much about the show, but I do know Melissa Etheridge is involved and maybe in it. I don't know, but my friend is a stage manager. Obviously, I have not talked to her about it, but I do know she's stage managing it, which is great. So that's funny that this particular song is the song, and there's a show opening right now with the very same title, with the same song. It's not really a coincidence. It's just like a funny intersection of events. Anyway, so I'll play that for you in a moment. Meanwhile, thank you so much for listening. If you like this podcast, oh my gosh, that's awesome. Please tell someone about it. You can tell me about it even. I mean, I won't, I know about it already, but you can tell me about you liking it. That'd be nice. But also, share it. That helps spread it around. If you'd like to support it with your dollars, there is patreon.com/Emily R. Davis. There's Ko-fi, there's PayPal. If you would like to subscribe to my Substack and be the very first paid subscriber, you can do that. That link is also in the show notes. If there's a place where you would like to support me, but you haven't found me there, please let me know what that is, and I'll get on it. I don't mind being on every single platform. Whatever. What else? I think that's all the things. Also, like, review, subscribe. All of those things are very helpful. And just, listening is great. It's fabulous that you are out there and that your ears are on this situation. It means a lot to me. So, thank you. And now, on guitar. Standing up for the first time in a while. I feel like whenever I do, there are certain artists that I can't sing sitting down. And I feel like the last one I did was probably a Casey Musgraves. And now you just can't sing Melissa Etheridge sitting down. I mean, some people can, I'm sure. But it is better to do it standing up, which I did. Hopefully, I managed the very delicate balance of singing right up on the mic and very far away from it. I think I managed to not do any ear-busting belting, but, I guess have your finger on the volume button. No, I think it's fine. I really do think it's fine. On guitar, here it is. Come to my window. I would dial the numbers just to listen to your breath, and I would stand inside my hell and hold the hand of death. You don't know how far I go to ease this precious ache. You don't know how much I give or how much I can take just to reach you, just to reach you, oh, to reach you. Come to my window, crawl inside, wait by the light of the moon. Come to my window, I'll be home soon. Keeping my eyes open, I cannot afford to sleep. Giving away promises I know that I can't keep. Nothing fills the blackness that has seeped into my chest. I need you in my blood, I am forsaking all the rest. Just to reach you, just to reach you, oh, to reach you. Come to my window, crawl inside, wait by the light of the moon. Come to my window, I'll be home soon. To my window, I'll be home, I'll be home, I'm coming home, I'm coming home. my